Yeah, it's a stone cold classic. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't get it wrong. Like there's pseudo-documentary stuff and then there's this. You really have to kind of check yourself and think, oh, am I sure that this isn't a documentary, you know, because the camera movement and the way that the story unfolds, it feels so authentic. That's right.
Yeah.
The first time I ever heard of it was Jonathan Demme talking about it. Was obsessed with him, still am. He made mention of it. I must have been about 16 years old. I said, well, I'll check out Battle of Algiers. Right. And, you know, the rest is history. You just kind of can't believe it. And you look into Pontecorvo. Burn is another great film that he made.
Burn's great.
You know, but it's funny, you know, I don't know why I would have thought it was a documentary. I mean, it says Ennio Morricone did the music in the opening credits, you know, so, but still, it's a lot of it.
With Pontecorvo, he did the music.
With Pontecorvo, that's right. Yeah. You know, but I think here's the difference really. It's like, it's one thing to have a shaky handheld camera, but it's the actors. So many of the performers are non-professional actors, and they're just people either recreating experiences that they've had, bringing their faces and their life to the movie. That's what makes it sing, you know. Yeah, I mean, it's an incredibly violent movie.
Incredibly.
You know, and there's no end to it. If somebody blows up, they're gonna blow somebody else up. And it just goes back and forth. And it sort of, that becomes the plot. And so the absurdity and the ridiculousness of human nature and behavior is kind of laid out pretty bare.
Well, this film was very popular with the revolutionary movement in the 60s in America. A lot of documentation about Weather Underground members and other people living by this film, looking at the situation down in Algeria and loving this film, loving the authentic, or, you know, even though it is a fictional film, it really feels like a documentary. It's incredibly skillfully made. And so it was a rallying cry, you know, for a lot of revolutionaries in America looking at Pontecorvo's film. And so it's Bob's comfort watch, and it's probably the thing that from, you know, his armchair, he can really still feel like in the fight, and he can do the dialogue, and he can get stoned and put it on for the 600th time. It's probably like a blanket to him. It's like reminding him of the old days, reminds him of the past, you know, a past he was never a part of, but it's kind of sweet. It's sweet. It's sad, but it's sweet, you know.
But for our hero, Leo, watching it, it's kind of like, I think it was a very popular thing in the 60s, sort of these guerrilla movements, you know, there was sort of a lot of references, whether the Weather Underground, the Battle of Algiers was kind of, it was their blueprint. Well, you know, I imagine, you know, if you were part of that revolution and you got out and you're kind of living in a cabin in the woods in relative safety and you don't have anything to do, you'd probably put on the Battle of Algiers for the 900th time.
That's right.
And relive the old days. And that's what he's doing in the movie when he watches the film. Yeah, John Martin gives a lot of humanity to this guy, but John Martin brings a kind of couple other layers to that, rather than just being this kind of Darth Vader type figure who's going to come in and clean house, you know. It's complicated. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like, you know, the #1 most watched film from any of those groups that we certainly got into looking into. There's you know, Weather Underground, Black Panthers, that kind of thing. I mean, this was their film. This was the film that they admired, they idolized, and they looked to. You know, obviously there was a lot of movements of people to Algiers once they had to flee this country. Sort of revolutionaries hiding out in Algiers became a destination in the late 60s, early 70s.
After this.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. He's a pretty well-rounded filmmaker. He's looking at all sides of it. It's not just one agenda. That's right. You know, a movie that has so much violence that you do see, where he decides what to show you and what not to show you. That's how he navigates that story.
Yeah.